strategy is very, very successful. In fact, if you draw this map of these flagship projects, they interconnect. And they interconnect very well. So this is only my view. I have not talked to anyone, but this is how I see these projects. The second thing is empowerment, right? We can talk about giving resources, we can talk about giving technology people, we can talk about anything, but making these people empowering to make the change is the important one, right? And this is not just for one person, it is actually for organization and whoever is actually sharing it. The third one is streamlining the success. The success has to be streamlined, it doesn't have to be one or the other. That okay, if we do this, then it has to be step by step. No, we cannot build, none of these projects will be successful if we didn't have short-term goals and long-term goals, but they have to be streamlined in parallel, right? The fourth one is hard work, but hard work doesn't mean just go work like a horse. It's actually hard work with adaptability, because if you are not adapting to the streamlined focuses, then you can't actually change. Then your hard work is wasted, right? The next one is partnership, and partnership actually includes partnerships with skeptics, the competitors, everyone. So whether it is in US, India, if we are trying to get solar panels from China, all those things actually has to work together. That is very, very important. So in business world, people use the word co-opetition rather than competition, right? But this is actually very, very important for these. And these flagship projects have to actually compete with each other, at the same time work together. And of course, we have to work with much larger world audience, because these are Skill India, for example. Where do these people go? Right? There was a quote, one blog I read, that India is known for unskilled laborers. And that has been true for many, many years. And it is still true in many countries. I don't know many of you, if you go to some countries in certain areas, you feel that you are not being treated that way, because even though you may be highly educated and all. So we have to change that perception, so that has to come together, right? The next one is resourcefulness. What does that mean? That doesn't mean, okay, this is my budget, this is the plan, and we will do it. No, resourcefulness means which organization has certainly done these things better, can I take it? We don't have to reinvent things. Because if one organization, Skill India, comes up with a plan how to train people into certain technologies, how can those same method can be applied to smart city? But what will happen in many of these projects, each one will come up with their own human resource plan. And that could be challenging for us, right? And resourcefulness includes all of us actually, because we have to actually be part of it to be successful. The next one is education. What does education mean? That's not about the school education. As we all know, of course, I owe my success to IIT PhD because my professor was a unique person in all its senses. He's officially a genius who, if he was born in this part of the country, he would probably get a Nobel Prize, right? He was that genius. He did his PhD from UVA in 2.5 years in quantum physics. But I got good training from him, right? So the education is not just a coursework. It's the education of life. Education, how to mentor other people. What he showed me is like, how do I work in multiple projects at the same time? So I actually don't work in one field at a time. I work in science, I'm working in technology, I'm working in business, and as you know, I'm part of TYE program and many other such things. The last one is mentoring. Because mentoring is a theoretical concept in almost every place. That doesn't really go in practice. So mentoring has to be really, really encouraged, not at a formal level, but formally defined, but informal level. That's a very important concept, which people don't get it. You can read hundreds of books on mentoring and they'll say, oh, go find a mentor and you will coach. You know, like what are you there for? It has benefit both of them and the organization as a big, right? So if I summarize these things, so one is disruptive innovation, empowerment, streamlining hard work, partnership, resourcefulness, education, and mentoring. If these 8 letters were put together, that's called Deshprem. So, and this is coming from my own practice. So first example that I will talk about is TYE program, which is called the Young Entrepreneur Program. About 4 years back, we thought of it. saying we want to train young people into entrepreneurship, because my son went through some process and he's in Silicon Valley now, but there was no training, formal training. He had a degree from UVA, and I of course had a PhD from IIT, but no idea of entrepreneurship. So one day I said we should do that. Then I talked to Thai people and they said, okay, let's try to figure out how we can do. So we brought in people who are ex-CEOs. And then I said, I don't know much. I was a professor of School of Management at Gen, and then I knew one person whose name I used to see on the signboard in George Mason University, Professor of Entrepreneurship. So I didn't know him. And then I said, I'll call him. I said, Professor Joshi, I'm an adjunct faculty here and I want to do this. Do you want to be part of it? And you know, as Chatterjee sir said that we have lots of egos, right? So I was really worried. He's a professor of entrepreneurship and I'm an adjunct professor. Will he talk to me or not? But thankfully, he's actually sitting in the audience. I have a great partnership with him. It's amazing that what you can do with like little bit of effort to reach out. And today, I'm very proud to say that we have graduated about 70 students. 2 patents, I think, are in the filing, right? And about two companies are on the offing, so to say. And one person has actually started his 11th grader has started his own e-commerce business. And it is not only just Indian Americans in that program, there are actually everyone. It's open to everyone. And one of the person from Maryland, and people drove like 50, 60 miles to attend this program. It's a summer boot camp, 8 days, 10 days. And actually a lot of CEOs, CFOs, lawyers actually come and donate their time. And I'm proud to say there is one person who's sitting here, Dr. Raj Dave, who's one of the famous IP attorney from Pillsbury, and he and his team actually contributes about, I shouldn't say, significant amount of time. Not only that, he has actually promised every high schooler who comes to that program that if they file a patent, this company will file the patent for free. So if you think economic terms, it's a huge deal. But then also we got a support from another person named Sanjay Govils, many of you may have heard of him, in actually financial terms to support the prize money for these students, where they actually compete for business plan competition. And these are actually judged by the CEOs and the top leaders of the companies in the DC metro area, which are not the instructors. We bring in different set of people to judge, right? And then they actually get prize money. And these people, it goes beyond. The important thing is it goes beyond what they're doing. It is actually the winners go to the global competition. So it is not the education that they got in the class, it is actually the drive to go beyond the classroom, right? So the contribution of the community here, and these are CEOs of all kinds of companies. Whoever wants to come, and if anyone wants to volunteer, I will take the names. We can grow the program very much. We had up to 60 students, I think, in the second batch, but then we reduced because there's a challenge between Maryland and Virginia where the people should drive. So we are happy to host anywhere. We have a formula for it, and very successful formula, but we want to actually grow. We actually hosted the global competition here at George Mason University, and we were very proud to see some teams that actually participated from India. And in fact, there was a team from Chennai. After their presentation, one of the successful entrepreneur here, he got up, he was a judge, and he said, if you actually decide to make a company, here is my card, and I'll give you the money. That actually opened our eyes to India, that look at these girls who barely, if you look at them, and there's an all girls team, right, who wanted to do medical tourism related business. If you look at them, there is no way you would say these are the entrepreneurial kind, because we have this mindset about it. But through this competition, we actually learned a lot, right? And this is something that last year I was in Dehradun and I was talking to some people in the Uttarakhand government, and what I learned is that they are looking for such people. In fact, one of the story that I learned, or actually I know very well, is NIT is opened in Uttarakhand, which is in Srinagar. 65 students graduated last year, which is a year back. There's only one person who is here in US. Out of that, none of them have gotten a job. That person happens to be my nephew, so I knew how to mentor him. Even with my brother has a little bit hesitation of sending him alone somewhere, but I managed to work on it. So he's going to do his PhD in Irvine soon, he's doing his master's. But I asked him, why did these other 64 people did not find something? He says, there's no mentor. They go to the classroom, they take the paper, pass the exam, what do you have to do? The projects. So many of us are running companies here. Actually, we should be able to support them by giving them some real world projects. This is how many of the MBA classes are successful here, because they give them real world projects. We haven't done that for especially NITs and especially new IITs. So what I want the Indian American community especially is to say what projects can we actually give them so they get real world experience. And along that line, there are some companies here, they're not here today. One is Dr. Sudarshan and another is Dr. Ranveer Singh. Those who are actually working in the fields of nanotechnology and semiconductors, sensors, and they actually train a lot of people on these projects. The goal is to take such people just outside the traditional IT to show that what can be done, right? So what I want to do is I want to support from all of you, whoever wants to support the TIE initiative. Also, of course, there is a very big IIT group here as well. So I'm part of that as well. So we can actually combine efforts, as Mr. Chatterjee said, we keep our ego in deep freeze, work together, and we can be very successful. That is very, very important. So we have actually started talking about working IIT group and the TIE group together. And as Mishraji and Ambassador just mentioned, that we want to work with the Ambassador's office as well, because I think it will be good for all of us. Right. And the second project, which is, I think it just came out of blue one day, and this person is here, Asif, who runs the American Bazaar online. And actually, that is a very unique project we do. Asif actually organizes everything, about 15 to 20 people from the DC metro area, most of them are senior leaders. We actually fly on our own cost to Bangalore every year in January. And we mentor, I think the first year we mentor about 100 kids. They're fresh out of graduate college or just had their first job. And then next year, I think it was 150. We are hoping to do much more this year. On January 23rd, we are going back. And it's a one-day event where we actually go and mentor this new workforce. And this model has worked out very well for us. It is one way of giving back to India. And some of these people actually follow up. In fact, out of that discussion, literally 2 days back, I got a business plan from one of these kids saying, this is my business idea. I've already built it for 1 year and trying to raise some more money to take it to the next level to scale it. And you see these young people coming from different directions, and what in this forum happens is they actually interact with each other, whom they don't know. And that's where the team building sometimes takes place. And this is one model that could be actually helpful in actually augmenting these 8 projects of India. The other project, which I worked many years back, there is a non-profit called India International School. Many of you have heard of it. The Virginia version is a non-profit. There is a Maryland version also called India International School, which is a for-profit organization. So I can only talk about the non-profit, that's where I worked. I was a volunteer there for many, many years, and we actually have, I think, unique thing that we have taught almost every Indian language, almost every Indian dance and music of India. And this is not just for Indians. We have people from all over the place. In fact, our Hindi teacher who's there, she actually trains FBI and CIA people. And she teaches at the university as well. Right? We taught almost every language, Tamil, Malayalam,